Hey, thank you for joining me on The African Child. Confederate flags and monuments are being removed from public places these days. But my question today is, are they necessary to be removed? But before you answer that, just wait and listen to what I've got to say on that. Please, I want to let you know that The African Child has a YouTube channel. Whenever you get a chance, please make sure you visit and subscribe to that channel as well. Before I move on, I just want to give you a gist of history as to how everything started and how it progressed up to this day and age in this country. In August 1619, a ship called White Lion brought in 20 Africans to Virginia, Jamestown. That was the first batch of Africans that was brought into United States of America as slaves. The ship was a Dutch ship. In 1936, the first American slave carrier was built, and it was called Desire. This ship was built in Massachusetts. Americans soon realized the great opportunity when it comes to slavery and the free labor that they produce and the wealth that they create. So until 1865, there were about 4 million slaves worth more than $3 billion in those days' money. I mean, to bring it up to these days' money, you have to do a whole lot of calculations. It was necessary for them to bring in more Africans because they realized that, damn, these people are pulling in the work. They are putting in the work and harvesting a lot of cotton, which was the major export product for this country. The major export product for this country was cotton. In those days, 1840, according to the historian Eric Hobsbawm, cotton from slave labor amounted to 59% of the total U.S. export. 59%, people, think about that. 1.2 million pounds in 1791 from slaves of about 698,000. 2.25 million pounds in 1859 from about 4 million slaves. In 1860, the market value of slaves far exceeded that of banks, factories, and railroads combined. The worth of slaves in America that time far exceeded those three put together. During the Civil War, about 4 million African Americans were slaves, which was about 13% of the total population of the United States. But what were they doing? They were just in the fields working. People, even children, were working. Mothers, fathers, children work from dusk to down to dusk. They put in the work to create immense wealth for this country. Matter of fact, cotton production was the pivot upon which the economy of the United States revolves around that time. Without that, a lot of the wealth that were created in this country couldn't have been created. Remember, the labor were free. 4 million people working over 12 hours a day on the fields. Women, children, fathers, mothers. As long as you are able to work, you are being matched on the field to pick up cottons. Loans for purchase of slaves to be repaid with interest. Insurance policies on untimely death of slaves. Loss of potential profits. Slaves, sales tax, and notarization. People, it was immense. Slavery was weaved into the fabric of the economy. Every aspect of the economy was affected or influenced by slavery. Now, if you are a major player in the economy, would you sit down and abolish slavery? Abolition of slavery was the main bone of contention of the Civil War. The Confederation did not want slavery to be abolished. Slavery was their main economy. It was helping them to make wealth off the back of these black people. And so why would they sit down for slavery to be abolished? That means a lot of the wealth that were being created are going to be halted. And so they had to fight in the Civil War to uphold and defend the good work of slavery. They had to kill fellow Americans to uphold the good labor and the free labor of slavery. Let me go ahead and let you know the recognition of the importance of slavery to the American economy that were stated by a very important personalities those days. They realize and they acknowledge how great of importance of free labor that they are getting from slavery is to the economy at that time. William T. Thompson, creator of the Confederate flag, the Confederate battle flag, said, and I quote, "As a people, we are fighting to maintain the heaven-ordained supremacy of the white man over the inferior or colored race," end quote. That the black man, the black ethnicity is inferior to the white man, which we all know is a blatant lie. Confederate Vice President Alexander H. Stephens said in his 1861 Confederate speech, "Our new government is found upon the great truth that the Negro is not equal to the white man, that slavery subordination to the superior race is his natural and normal condition," end quote. When I came across this on the ACLU website, I was dumbfounded. Yes, I've heard it before, but reading it, you can tell the mindset of people, no, the mindset of the white people at that time, and how troubling and excruciating pain that the black people had to go through and endure all of these. Confederate Army Lieutenant General Nathan Bedford Forrest, a founder or early member of KKK, said, "If we ain't fighting to keep slavery, what the hell are we fighting for?" End quote. And this was a statement during the Civil War. The underlying cause of the Civil War for the Southerners was to keep slavery, to make sure that black people keep working on the fields for them, to keep working to create wealth for them. If you think about in this day and age that people really thought like that, it sickens you to your soul. But these thoughts and these writings and these sayings were legal in those days. Now I want to ask this question. If you see a Confederate flag or a monument erected in the honor of these men that made these codes, what do you think will come in the mind of a black man? How do you think a black person feels when they see a monument erected in the name of the Confederate, when they see the flag of the Confederate, where the creator of the flag of the Confederate explicitly stated that black people are inferior to them? These are the mindsets of very important personalities. Kids have to work, mothers, all because they were making wealth, they were creating wealth. And these are generational wealth. These wealth were used to create businesses that prospered and grew up until today. Wealth that had been enjoyed up until today. Now, if slavery were to be upheld, what do you think would have happened? So the Confederate flag, when a black man sees a Confederate flag or a Confederate monument, it is totally related to bringing the black person down. It is totally an insult, a slap in the face of the black person, telling them that you don't matter, telling them that you are inferior to me, telling them that you are inferior to the white person and your servitude to the white person. So if you ask whether the flags of the Confederate and the monuments are to be removed, my answer to you is absolutely yes. It is about time that this country realized that the past was very bitter for some people and that the necessary steps need to be taken so that people can find some sort of consolation. These things need to be done so the country can become more powerful. And please share this video so your friends can also be enlightened.